Good morning. And what a great morning here in America's Opportunity City to welcome back a great champion for neighborhoods and families across our great country. Thank you to CMHA for hosting us today. A great city tends to its neighborhoods and its residents, and Columbus is a great city. But we can continue to work towards becoming even better by continuing to find ways to make affordable housing accessible to everyone. Therefore, it is my honor to introduce to you the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary Julián Castro. Secretary Castro is a proven leader, and I'm a little biased, but he's a former mayor. Champion for safe, affordable housing and strong and sustainable neighborhoods. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Columbus welcome to Secretary Castro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, hello Columbus. Home of the Ohio State University. Y'all have done a little bit better in football lately than UT, so I'm jealous. I'm also jealous of this city. This is a great city. I've been here a couple of times before, and thank you, Mayor, for hosting us today. I want to thank you for your leadership. Congratulations on your election and your tenure now, and the important work that you and your administration are doing. We're standing in the recently completed Poindexter Place, which has the support of HUD's Choice Neighborhoods Initiative. I want to thank everyone who has had a hand in making the Choice Neighborhoods implementation successful. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. And foremost among that, I know the city has been a tremendous partner, so thank you, Mayor. To Charles Hillman and the entire Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority staff for their great efforts. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. And to Julie DeGraaf Velasquez and everyone with McCormick Barron Salazar for their important work. Thank you. I know Kevin McCormick is here today somewhere. Kevin, thank you, and the firm. And to our many important affordable housing development partners. You know, I came to Columbus today to announce that the Federal Housing Administration, the FHA, is lowering the rates we charge to ensure financing for multifamily rental housing properties. Effective April 1st, we're lowering the rates for financing in three categories: broadly affordable, mixed income, and energy efficient housing. At its essence, what we're doing today is a case of less is more. Less borrowing costs mean more capital to rehabilitate affordable housing, more investment in energy efficient upgrades that benefit more people and our environment, more construction and rehabilitation projects, which will spark economic activity across the board in communities throughout the United States, and including here in Columbus, and provide a boost to the local economy, from contractors to the neighborhood hardware store. And as important as anything, it means that more Americans will have a safe, decent place to call home. As the folks here in Columbus and in communities big and small throughout our country know, our nation, in very many ways, is in the midst of an affordable housing crisis. A quarter of renters spend more than half their income on rent. And every dollar that goes to a landlord is a dollar taken from a grocery budget or a child's education or the retirement savings of a baby boomer who's getting ready to make that transition. HUD is tackling this challenge by not only working to create new affordable housing, but also by preserving precious existing affordable housing units. The multifamily measure that I'm announcing today will allow affordable rental projects to support approximately 4% more debt. We estimate that this will help rehabilitate nearly 40,000 units over the next 3 years. Developers can also use these dollars to build more housing, or even to cut existing rents for families. They can also increase energy efficiency and cut greenhouse gas emissions. And clearly, this is good policy. It's also good for FHA business. Our multifamily portfolio these days is very strong. In fact, our default rate is at a historically low level. And even with the reductions, we project that we're going to continue to generate positive returns for the federal government. This announcement, then, is a win for everybody involved. And that's important because solving the affordable housing crisis isn't a job that any one of us can handle alone. We know that behind every building is a story that's written by construction workers, by developers, by engineers, by public servants, by community leaders, by businesses, and by the tenants who inhabit that housing. The reduction of our multifamily rate will give all stakeholders more opportunities to work together and invest in development that welcomes families of all income levels. And all of us at HUD look forward to working with these partners to help folks across the nation have their own piece of the American dream. We just passed a year that marked the 50th anniversary of HUD. 50 years ago, President Johnson inaugurated this department to spark greater opportunity in the lives of people in our urban communities who need it. 5 decades later, that's what we continue to do. And in this year that is left of the Obama administration, we will use every single tool that we can to ensure that more families are able to find a safe, decent place to call home in our country. And I want to thank you for getting up every single day in your own right, in your own capacity, and helping to do the same thing. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Ginther.
We are so honored to have Secretary Castro with us today to make an important announcement that's going to continue our work in this community in partnership with HUD and so many of our other partners on making sure that we have safe, affordable, accessible housing for all of our residents. We sit in the Point Extra Village within the historic Near East Side of Columbus, immediately east of downtown. This neighborhood is rich in cultural heritage and possesses a place of pride throughout our history. It was once the center of church, civics, culture, and commerce within the African American community. But over the years, it has changed. In partnership with my predecessor, Mayor Coleman, we spent a lot of time, money, and effort to bring back this neighborhood, recognizing this community as the eastern gateway to our city. Columbus invested over $16 million to reconnect the neighborhood to downtown. These investments are strengthening the cultural institutions, commercial anchors, and improving the area's housing stock. In June of 2014, Columbus was fortunate to be awarded a Choice Neighborhoods Initiative Implementation Grant by HUD. This gave us the unprecedented opportunity to take our efforts to transform the neighborhood to the next level. Working in partnership with HUD, PAC, and Columbus, we all had the pieces in place to hit the ground running and assure the Choice Neighborhoods Grant served as a catalyst for a timely, successful transformation of the Near East Side neighborhood for our community. These partnerships have been and continue to be vital to the success of this neighborhood and our city as a whole. Our common purpose is to create a healthy, financially and environmentally sustainable community where residents have access to safe and affordable housing, quality health care, education, and employment opportunities. Together with our many philanthropic, corporate, community, and education partners, many of whom are here today, and with the assistance of Secretary Castro and HUD, we are continuing along the road to a true transformation worthy of this great neighborhood's past, present, and future. A neighborhood is where people live in the place they call home. For all of us here, the Near East Side brings it all together. The cultural and institutional assets, the prime location for mixed income housing, and an engaged and caring residents who will lead and guide us to success. Now it's my honor to introduce a great champion and partner for safe, affordable housing for all in our community, Mr. Charles Hillman, the President and CEO of the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority. Mr. Hillman.
Thank you. Good morning, and so the mission of the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority is by working with our collaborative partners, we renovate, develop, and maintain affordable housing while providing our residents with access to needed social services. And I thank the mayor and the secretary and Julie for joining me here today as champions to fulfill that mission on behalf of the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority. You can clap. I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge the elected officials who were able and willing to join us here today. So if you are here, please stand to be acknowledged. Thank you very much for your continued support, you all. I'd also like to acknowledge my Board of Commissioners, which with their innovative leadership is what allows us and puts us on a path to continue to develop affordable housing in this manner. Are any of our commissioners here? I thought I saw. Well, they are here in spirit, right? Today we are joined, as you've heard many different times, from many partners to celebrate this tremendous announcement on behalf of the Secretary. But we are also here to celebrate the tremendous success of the Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant. The Poindexter Choice Neighborhood Revitalization is part of a historic collaboration between, as you heard from Mayor, the City of Columbus, The Ohio State University, and the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority, led by the PACT organization, Partners Achieving Community Transformation, and we're joined by its executive, Trudy Bartley, here today, and we thank you all for your work in that area. This project also reflects a unique, innovative partnership with National Church Residences, who will provide the integrated senior health and wellness services for the residents. And I want to thank them for their efforts in this work and associated as being great partners. Of course, no development is possible without money and the finances to make it happen. And we are so fortunate to have some of the best financial partners in the country right here in Central Ohio. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the friendship and leadership of my friend Hal Keller at the Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing, Doug Garver at the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and the team at Key Bank and the Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing. And I did not forget about you, Mr. Peters, and Tracy Peters from the Red Capital Corporation, and in particular the Federal Home Loan Bank, who awarded this particular project $1 million. And there's a theme you're getting ready to embark upon. There's a lot of money to thank people for. So the next, of course, my partner with HUD and their chief, who has been nothing but an advocate. We have invested $5 million with HUD assistance in this particular building, and we will invest $30 million of Choice Neighborhood money in this particular geography. So I thank HUD for their partnership and their continued investment in our work. And of course, Tom Leach for all of his efforts in support of us. And I thought I had said Tom Leach, Brian. Also, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that my fair city, the city of Columbus, led by my mayor, Andy Ginther, has invested $24 million to support the Choice Neighborhood Poindexter redevelopment. And with continued support from the city and OFER and the other financial partners, we are confident that we will be able to complete this transformation in a very expeditious and be the first in the country to complete the redevelopment of a Choice Neighborhood community. I'd like to recognize all the members of my team here today, because you all know that without them, none of this is possible for me anyway. So if you could please stand and be recognized for all the work that you do. And all those people standing back there do not work for me. They just, but maybe they do, I don't know. Thank you all so very much. And so we are also so blessed to have many partners to participate in the work here. In particular, our lead developer, McCormick Barron Salazar, who you will hear from Julie later. And then here we go, our architects, Moody Nolan, and city architects, EMH&T, our engineers, our general contractors, Smoot and Simcoe Construction, as well as Rasili Construction, the Franklin County Commissioners, and the Affordable Housing Trust. My team and many folks I have mentioned have worked together to secure the finances for multiple phases of this particular project. We have community priorities, as you all well know, that depend on high-quality, affordable housing as part of a comprehensive strategy to find solutions. This is what Choice Neighborhood and the Poindexter redevelopment represents. It represents a comprehensive strategy to revitalize a neighborhood. It represents an opportunity to provide economic development. It represents the opportunity for residents to have access to needed social services and employment opportunity. And it represents affordable housing as a platform for transforming lives. And it represents each and every one of you for the hard work you do to continue to develop affordable housing. And I personally thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of McCormick Barron Salazar, I'd like to thank Secretary Castro, Mayor Ginther, Charles Hillman, and the entire Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority team for the opportunity to work with all of you on this very exciting Choice Neighborhoods transformation plan. I'd also like to acknowledge the Poindexter Village residents, some of whom are with us here today, for all of their involvement over the past many years to help plan what is now unfolding before us. I'd like to thank the tremendous team that we get to work with as part of our implementation team, including Urban Strategies, PACT, Columbus City Schools, and the City of Columbus Department of Development. We're thankful for our amazing financing partners from the HUD, FHA, and Choice Neighborhoods teams, Ohio Housing Finance Agency, tremendous group of people, the Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing, Red Capital, Franklin County and the Affordable Housing Trust for Columbus and Franklin County, for our creative and dedicated architects at Moody Nolan, our amazing contractors at Rasili Construction, our thoughtful and committed MWBE and Section 3 coordinator, NRT and Associates, who works very closely with our many, many workforce development partners, including COEC, the Urban League, Columbus State Community College, and Impact Community Action, among others. Columbus is a very special place. I say that all the time, and it really, really is. There's a tremendous collaborative spirit, and that's evidenced in this Choice Neighborhoods plan. When PACT and community residents and stakeholders launched this planning process 4 years ago, they set out to create a blueprint for transformation that would create priorities, galvanize support, and lead to a stronger and more vibrant neighborhood for longtime and new residents. Undoubtedly, people will ask to hear the story of how this plan came to reality, and we can describe that in a number of ways. We can describe what was developed: high-quality, new mixed-income, multi-generational housing, an array of wraparound services through partnerships, improved community assets and amenities, including better schools and employment opportunities. We can also describe how it came together through community outreach and engagement, the leveraging of partnerships and resources that make investments in both people and place. Secretary Castro's announcement this morning means that we will be able to stretch our first mortgage financing even further, allowing us to serve more families in a time of limited resources and growing need for affordable and sustainable housing. But the heart of this story is why it became reality. And the why behind the Poindexter Village Near East Side Choice Neighborhoods plan is that each one of us in this room believe that urban neighborhoods have long been and will continue to be places of choice and opportunity, where individuals and families and businesses can grow and thrive, and that our collective investments in these neighborhoods and the residents who live in them will pay dividends for generations to come. We are incredibly proud to be part of the realization of the vision for Poindexter Village in the Near East Side. We look forward to welcoming returning Poindexter Village residents and new residents through the revitalized Poindexter community. Thank you.
Well, thank you again for everyone joining us today for this exciting announcement. And as we've just heard, the impact of this announcement will have on families in our community. You know, as a leader of one of America's largest cities, our cities couldn't ask for a better partner and advocate. Under Secretary Castro, the Department of Housing and Urban Development is helping to restore and transform America's cities, which is absolutely critical to our future if we're going to realize shared prosperity and opportunity for all. So to Secretary Castro, thank you for your partnership, thank you for your continued commitment to America's cities, and thank you all for joining us here today.